Hey guys, JNO0, how you doing? I hope all is well in YouTube land. Whatever part of the world that you are in, we are going to make some homemade Salisbury steaks today. We're going to do it JNO style. I will tell you that there's probably not going to be an exact recipe in the description box. This is just kind of how we do it. There's nothing fancy. It's just good old-fashioned dutyologist of grubology. What is grubology? Is when the food is hot, brown, and plenty of it, which is what our Salisbury steaks are going to be. So, everybody knows the first steps of making Salisbury steaks? Make some onion soup. At least that's what we're going to do anyway. So we just take what we got. We're going to use our food processor. I'm taking the lazy way out. Just take your onion and peel the skin off of it, which is what I've already done with this one. We're going to cut it in quarters. Quarter it like this, that way I can take it and put it in here and have the food processor slice it real thin. And it takes about 12 seconds to do all these. And like I said, we got 5 onions in here, so make sure the power is off so that we don't remove any appendages. And this is what we want. 5 real thin sliced onions. Now we're going to come over here to the stove top. I'm going to get that piece of skin out of there. Come over here to the cooktop. And in our large stock pot here, I've got about 2, maybe 3 tablespoons of bacon grease. Some folks would like to use olive oil and butter, but like I said, we're not fancy. We're just making this because this is going to be the base for our gravy for our Salisbury steaks. We're going to put this in here. We're going to make sure we got it on about medium heat. And we're going to toss our onions in here and let them start sweating. We're going to let them sweat for about 15 minutes, which is just letting them simmer. We're going to cover them up and stir them up real good and let them make sure we don't let them burn to the bottom of our pan. That looks like a lot, but they cook way down. Let me get a spoon here. So we want to mix them all up here and get them all coated in bacon grease. Or if you're using oil and butter, whatever it is that you like. I like bacon. So now I'm going to put a lid on here and we're going to let them sweat and cook for about 15 minutes. And once we get to that point, we're going to take it the next step, but we'll see you in 15 minutes and we'll show you what else we're going to do. Okay guys, you can see how far down these onions have cooked. So now we're going to take the lid off. We're going to give them a stir. You can see they're starting to turn a little translucent. Now we are going to add about a tablespoon or so of sugar. That is going to help the onions caramelize and get that nice dark brown rich flavor. These are yellow onions, so I mean they've got some sugar in them, but not like a sweet onion would. And we're going to leave the lid off so that the steam can come out. They can finish cooking down. We're going to stir it about every 3 or 4 minutes so that they're not sticking to the bottom of our pot here. And we're going to let them cook for about another 15 minutes and we'll check on them then. But we're going to cook them until they are nice and dark caramelized color. So when we get to that point, then we'll go to the next step. Okay guys, this is about as brown as I like mine, caramelized. You see how far down they cook. You can cook them darker if you like. A little bit so we can see. See on the bottom of the pan there, all them little sticky bits that you scrape off with your spoon? Those are good. That's why you want to keep stirring it, because you don't want this stuff here to scorch. So that's why you want to keep everything stirred up really nice. So now what we're going to do is I'm going to add 2 tablespoons of flour. We're going to mix that in and let it cook for about a minute and a half to get rid of all the floury taste. Mix it up good. While we're letting that cook, we're going to also add the rest of our seasoning. We're going to add just to taste, some salt, some pepper, and some garlic powder. You can use fresh garlic if you like, or whatever it is that you like in your soup. Feel free to use it. This is just what we are doing on ours. Now, like I said, we're going to let this cook now for about a minute and a half to get rid of the flour taste. So we will see you back here in about a minute. Alright, so now our flour is cooked, and you see all the little sticky bits on the bottom there? That's what we want. I will tell you too, it took me about 20 or 25 minutes to get my onions to this stage. So now we're going to deglaze this pan here, and I am going to use apple cider vinegar. A lot of folks will use white wine or something like that, but I don't have any white wine. So we're going to use apple cider vinegar. Just a couple of tablespoons is all you're going to need. I'm going to mix that all around and see how it's going to bring up that stuff, all the little crusty bits on the bottom. Let's see if we can get some better light here. All that stuff there is all flavor. We want all that stuff up and mixed into the soup. So now we're going to let this cook out for about another minute or so. And a lot of the, a lot of the alcohol, if you're using alcohol and all that kind of stuff, will go ahead and cook out at this time. The same thing with the vinegar. A lot of that sour vinegary taste will cook out in the steam. We're just using it to deglaze the bottom and get all the flavor that we can. So we'll see you in another minute. Okay guys, you see where we are? Now all of our vinegar is cooked down, our flour has cooked in well, and now we're going to add 8 cups of beef broth or beef stock. You could use vegetable broth, you can use whatever it is that you like. We're using beef broth. We'll just use the powdered beef broth that we made up. Give it a good mixing. Mix it all together. Break up the onions as much as you can. And now we're going to reduce our heat to medium and let this simmer. We're going to let it simmer for at least 30 minutes, maybe a little bit longer, and then our soup should be done. So we will see you in 30 minutes. Okay guys, here we are at 30 minutes with our soup. Our soup is done, and it's soupy and oniony and delicious. So we're going to turn off the heat, we're going to push it to the side, and we are going to direct our attention now to the meat. Here we've got a total of 5 pounds of meat. We've got 3 pounds of venison and 2 pounds of ground beef. I don't know what the ground beef is. This is stuff that when we butchered, we ground ourselves. So I'm not quite sure what the fat content is on it, but we're going to mix all this different meats together here. And to this, now this is all stuff, the soup and the meat, these are things that you can kind of pre-prep and prepare them in advance. A couple hours before you're going to start you're making your actual dinner, which is kind of what we're doing today. You just get right in there, put some gloves on, and get in there and mix it all up. And make sure you spill a bunch of it everywhere, because if you don't, you're doing it wrong. Alright, now to this we're going to add 2 eggs. That's going to bind. And about a half a cup or so of breadcrumbs. These happen to be Italian style breadcrumbs. Use whatever breadcrumbs you like, or you can make your own. A lot of times we'll make our own breadcrumbs, but we just didn't have time today to do that. This is all going to bind together. We're not adding any seasonings yet to the meat, because most of the seasoning is going to be in the gravy. So get it all mixed together, and then I'm going to set it aside for about an hour or so until we're ready to start cooking, and then we'll go to the next step. Now, a lot of folks, whenever you're going to use Salisbury steaks, feel free to use whatever kind of meat you like. If you want to use cube steaks, or you want to have some kind of other piece of meat and you run it through a tenderizer, whatever it is that you want to use, feel free to use. This is why I say this is not going to be a description recipe in the description box for an exact recipe, because this is all personal taste. Even your onion soup, I mean, you can caramelize them longer if you want darker, you can caramelize it less. You can add less onions, more garlic, whatever it is that you like, you can do. So now we're going to just let this sit for a little bit, and when we start making our patties and making the gravy, we will go to that step. Okay guys, I got a, this is an 11 by 9, this is a 13 by 9, or 11 by 13, 13 by 9 pans. I'm just taking a little bit of the broth from the soup, putting it in the bottom and spreading it out just to make a little thin coating on there. And then we're just taking our meat and making it into patties. And we're going to line the bottom of our pan with our patties, almost like making burgers, but we're not frying them or grilling them. We're just turning our meat into these little patties, and we're gonna put them in here. They don't got to be perfectly lined, all single or any of that kind of stuff. They can be overlapped a little bit if you need some extra room. We're making a lot because we feed a big crew here. We have a large family, so we make quite a bit of them. And now once we get all of our patties made and into the pan, then we're going to make the gravy to go on top of it, which is where our soup comes in. So once I get all these patties up and in the pan, then we'll get back with you. Okay guys, here we're going to start working on our gravy for the Salisbury steaks. Here we have 3 cups of the French onion soup that we just made. To that we're going to add a half a cup of ketchup and a half a cup of water. I have them both here together. We're going to put this in here. And next we are going to add 2 tablespoons of Worcestershire sauce. 2 tablespoons of Worcestershire sauce. And we are going to add a teaspoon of dried ground mustard. Teaspoon-ish. And we're going to give all this a mix together. And incorporate all the ingredients. And then we give it a little bit of a taste. And we're going to add a little bit of black pepper and a little bit of salt just to taste. Probably a half a teaspoon of each, roughly. Mix that up. We have our oven preheating to 350 degrees. And we are going to bake our Salisbury steaks uncovered at 350 degrees for probably 35 to 45 minutes. When it hits the 30-minute mark, we will start keeping an eye on everything. So what we're going to do now is we have our trays, our pans with our patties in it. We're just going to split the gravy up and push it over the top of our steaks here, of our patties. Do that on both pans. There we go. Alright. So now we are ready to put these into the oven and bake them. And we will see you guys when they are done baking so that we can do the old proverbial poison test. Okay guys, we are I think at about 50 minutes. We are going to pull these now out of the oven and let them stand for about 10 minutes. Man, live, these things smell awesome and they look awesome because they are going to be awesome. So we're going to let them stand for just a little bit. That gravy should thicken just a little, not a whole lot, but a little bit. Meantime, we're going to whip up some mashed potatoes, get them finished up, and then we'll do the old poison test here directly. So we'll see you in about 10 minutes if I can wait that long. Okay guys, it has been 10 minutes and it's been the full 10 minutes. It totally hasn't only been 7 minutes and I'm in here early because I want to try out the Salisbury steak. Let's give it a shot. Oh man. That's really good. That is the stuff right there, y'all. So, we got to finish the video. You know, it's just easy. It just takes time. Very few basic ingredients. You see the steak is cooked all the way through. It's got nice gravy that you can put on top of your potatoes or whatever sides you have to go with it. And it is oh so delish, man. So give it a shot. It's really easy to do. If I can do it, you guys can totally do it. Hope I'm not spitting stuff everywhere. That's pretty gross. So we're going to eat. You guys have a great rest of the day. Thanks for watching. God bless. And the end.
Buzz, buzz, the end.